Yesterday, China announced a slowing of its growth to 7.7%. Here with me to discuss the implications of that is Boqiang Lin. He's director of the China Center for Energy Economics and Research. Thank you for joining us here. Could you tell me, are we now officially in a period of permanently slower growth from China?
I think so, for two reasons. One is that China possibly have reached a certain stage that they don't have economic growth of 10% anymore. You look at last 20, 30 years, and I don't think they can go forever. That's one. It's the economic growth theory.
Right, you just can't keep it at 10% forever.
Right. Second one is that I think China has a serious problem with the environment. And that environmental treatment, as China promoting at this point, is serious. And that need to be done because there's a public outcry.
Right.
So you asked me before that when government say I want to change the economic structure, make it better quality, I'm not quite believe. But today, if you ask me that if you together with environmental treatment, the economic quality, growth quality is going to be better, then I believe. Because there's a general public outcry for it. And then they reach a certain stage that something needs to be done there. Yeah.
So the environmental problems are so severe that they'll begin doing things, or they have already begun doing things like shutting steel plants, retiring factories that are the most polluting.
Right. That's a general package of about 10 points that issued by State Council just late last year. And that clearly indicated what they're going to do. And if as my points of view that what are the government policy have huge impact on economic growth and energy, I would be say that that would be 10 points package that try to deal with the environment in the Changjiang Delta and also Zhejiang Delta.
Right. And
those areas happen to be the China center of China economic growth and energy consumption. So that I think that Changjiang and Zhejiang Delta together with the Jinjiangji are roughly about 40 to 45% of the economy, and also the 40 to 45% of energy consumption. So to dealing with the environment really has some consequences on the economic growth, energy consumption, and higher energy costs will subsequently also need to lower economic growth. So I think that the slowdown is real. Yeah.
Given the air pollution levels we're seeing in Beijing, even Shanghai, many parts of the country, are you saying then that to really try to reduce these, that growth could fall even further down the road from 7% to perhaps 6% or 5%?
Well, in the short term, I won't expect that. I will tend to believe that it will possibly maintain 7 to 8, somewhere between 7 and 8, for certain periods of time, and then go down to about 7, and even further go down to between 6 and 7. But that will take some time, because the reason for that is there's still huge pressure on the employment and etc. So what I'm trying to say is that the environmental pollution, try to deal with environmental pollution has certain impact on economy, and also has certain impact on the energy demand, energy structure, even energy costs. But overall, that the certain economic growth is still to maintain.
And what do you see as the impact on the rest of the world? The commodities boom is over?
I think that possibly is over. The reason I'm saying that is that if you look at last 10 years, China's incremental on energy demand is roughly sometimes 50%, and sometimes even go as high as more than 70% of the world incremental. In other words, when China is slowing down, unless there's other countries like India has a super performance, which we don't believe so, then the demand is slowing down. And if that energy demand is a huge portion of the larger commodity, then that means the commodity boom possibly,
Mr. Thank you very much, Mr. Lin.